You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you into the Let's Play episode of Far Beyond the World. So the last place we left off, we had just gone into the forest. We encountered Verissa there having a bit of trouble, and we decided to give her a hand. And, well, we're both feeling great. I've reinforced her faith in Aluna, and perhaps even inspired a little bit of my own. Also gave Trist a nice stern talking to, and it's finally nice to see his face look something other than evil and smug. But anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy. Let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right into it, shall we? Alright, here we go. What sort of crazy ride am I on? I entered the cabin, I closed the doors behind me and slumped against them. What the fuck is going on? First Wolven and now Old Sylvan? The chief was supposedly speaking to me in subhuman dialects as well, but they all blend into one. I cannot distinguish one language from another. They are as native to me as my own thoughts, just like the whispers. I quickly look around the room for some water, as my throat clenches and I'm desperately thirsty. I pour myself a cup and swallow greedily, but with each gulp I feel the void inside my stomach grow deeper, while my heart rate spins completely out of control. I think I might be losing my damn mind. I gaze at the room in panic as it begins to contort again, the shadows extending and reaching out to me. No! No! My eyes well up and my heart is racing at 100 miles an hour. Please, no! I drop the cup, but before I can hear it clang on the floor, everything turns black. Eesh. That force, that's... No, not this again! I beg, tears cascading down my cheeks like heavy waterfalls. Yeesh. Force does not want to let you go. What's going on? Oh, what's going on? I can't... Okay. It's so close now. So close. Eesh. Oh. Come on, game. Suddenly I felt a large hand grab onto my arm, pulling me deeper into the void. No! Let go of me! I shout out with all the air in my lungs. I force myself free, pulling back and stumbling to the floor. Orien, what are you doing? I can see Ranok standing above me with a shocked expression, his paw still extended where it held me. What's going on? I look around in utter horror, huddling to the wall behind me. Everything's back to normal, as if nothing ever happened. What? You were just standing there, mumbling. No. Oh, God, no. I'm starting to lose sense of what's real and what isn't. The wolf squats beside me, looking rather worried. No doubt he senses my erratic heart rate. So much for not coming across as hysterical. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. I mutter, struggling to get up. He aids me with his paw, pulling me back to my feet. It must have been sleepwalking. I'll go back to bed. I try to rush towards the bedroom doors, but Ranok grabs my hand, gently stopping me in my tracks. I can sense you're in distress. You're in distress. His voice is soft and full of concern. Only now I notice I'm slightly shivering and my heart must seem to him as if I tried bursting out of my chest. It almost feels like as if I have a pocket of air stuck inside me. Look, I'm sorry about the kiss. It's always about him. It's not the goddamn kiss! I snap, yanking that hand free. Orien! I seriously can't deal with his sexuality issues right now. I run towards the bedroom doors and just slam them shut behind me. Jesus. Since there's no lock, I sit down with my back against them, preventing the wolf from entering without having to force his way in. Oof. Wait, what is that? Is that a bullet hole? I try to calm myself, to rein in my rattled breath, but again, I'm slowly spiraling. I hear him knock on the door and I sigh in annoyance, struggling to hold back the tears. Go away! I plead sorrowfully. I really don't know what to do. Between the torrent of thoughts in my head and the mixed feelings he invokes in me, I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Orien, what really happened? He asks through the door and his saddened voice almost makes me want to let him in. If it's not the kiss, why are you so freaked out? I need to know. Your fucking rabbit threatened me! I gasped, finally allowing tears to fall freely. Alright, threaten to him. I'm not sure which anymore. I muttered, defeated. I did not handle Trist well. What? When? Although I really want to tell him about my near-constant freakouts and my now apparent weird multilingual abilities, I don't think it's the right time for either. We've just opened one can of worms with that stupid kiss. No point opening another without putting the lid back on the first. It doesn't matter. It would seem I will have to bite the bullet and take the embarrassment of coming across as too emotional, rather than to put my mental psychosis on full display. Was it at the feast? I decide to evade with a half-truth. Yeah, he kept giving me funny looks. Well, if that's the case, I'll set him straight. He has no business harassing you. No, don't. I don't want to cause... I cut off, realizing how just hours before we had accused one another of making a spectacle of ourselves. A scene? He guesses through a forced chuckle. A bit too late for that, don't you think? Yeah. We stay like this in silence, when I feel his heavy form slump down and press against the door. He sat himself on the other side, mirroring me. I never wanted to make you angry, but I understand why you don't want me here. First I take too far with the teasing, and then... He holds his breath, unable to even verbalize it. You must be so disgusted. I'm flattered, not disgusted. Huh? He exhales, clearly surprised by my candidness. I mean, having a wolf like you kiss someone like me? That's any guy's dream, given their... Defective, he says in a worried tone, and I sigh in defeat. You're not defective, Ranok, not to me. Maybe, but to everyone else. Fuck everyone else! I snap, annoyed he allows himself to be boxed in like this without putting up even a shred of a fight. What matters is what you think and feel. Do you see me as defective, as someone who needs to be fixed? No! The wolf stutters in panic. You're perfect the way you are. And now I'm the one taken aback by his frankness, a small blush creeping onto my face over the compliment. But at least now I can turn his own heartfelt words against his conditioning. And for the love of God, stop using that word! I demand sternly. It's even more painful when you use it to describe yourself. You have so much going on, the last thing you need is self-loathing. He falls silent, clearly thinking over what I said. I give him a moment, but eventually he sighs deeply. It's not that simple. Why? Because I'm not really like that, Orien. I do like females. I want to suggest he might be bi, but he continues completely throwing off my train of thought. I'm just an idiot. I know I can be playful, but I took it a bit too far. I just wanted to distract you because you were so distressed, and I'd much rather had you flustered than in tears. So you just kissed me? I almost can't believe his words. Like, how is that even a solution? Oh, my friend is upset and I know he might be into me. Let me give him a pity kiss. I mock his logic. It wasn't like that. He subdues a growl. It's... The wolf sighs, struggling with wording his own thoughts. We both had too much to drink. So you never meant it? No, that's not what I'm saying. Again, he protests fervently. What are you saying, then? It was a spur of the moment. I had no idea what I was doing until I actually did it. He gives this rash explanation. I can clearly feel his rattled breath rocking the door back and forth. He's really distressed, and I decide to allow him some time to recollect his thoughts, listening to his strained huffs. I don't know. The wolf sighs in defeat. I'm so confused. You're a guy, and although I had feelings for a male before, I thought it was just a one-off. But even worse, you're a human. That's gotta be messed up, no? As much as a revelation of his earlier infatuation surprises me, his crude assessment of our situation brings me back to earth. He isn't wrong. Even I question my attraction to him at times. This is a whole new level of what the hell am I even thinking kind of thing. Yeah, I get how you feel. I nod half-heartedly. Each time I'm reminded that you're a wolf, a part of me is screaming, what the fuck? I chuckle nervously. Right? He responds in a similar feigned amusement. I think it's your speech that does it to me. There's no language barrier and you sound like one of our own. Worse yet, talking to you is easier than to any other wolf I've ever met because you're an outsider. I don't have to worry about our customs or preconceptions. You just read me like an open book without any judgment. I feel like I can be myself around you, and that you enjoy me for who I actually am. Not for who you want me to be. I've never felt like that before. I listen carefully as he tries to explain his feelings. It seems I was right. He was forced into a role his entire life, with watchful eyes dead set on him. One wrong move, one misplaced step, and you're booed off the stage. A failure. Poor wolf. I wipe away a tear. First that I have shed in this world for someone else. You're also the first decision I've made that I can stand by is truly my own. The fact I also saved your life makes me feel responsible and incredibly possessive. Sometimes it feels as if I imprinted on you in those woods. He exhales in resignation, and I raise my brow. Imprinted? It doesn't matter, he mutters dismissively. Just know that to us wolves, being territorial about certain individuals is very much natural. And combined with everything else, it can easily seem like you are in love. It's messing with my head. Yeah, I can see why. I sigh in understanding. I can definitely relate to his confusion and reservations. My memory loss and loneliness is triggering a lot in my need for intimacy with you. Not to mention you're the first and only friendly person I can remember. It makes me a little bit clingy. And then being forced into this proximity, with things getting as intense as they did at times? No wonder our emotions are all over the place. I can hear his amused scoff through the door. See, even now you understand me. It's hard to keep level-headed around you. Yeah, right back at you. I laugh softly. But even if it is kind of rushed and weird, I really do enjoy our connection. The thing is, I'm enjoying it as well. Maybe too much than is appropriate. He says with a serious tone, and I want to reassure him. I don't mind being close. I cannot lose you, Orien. He cuts me off, his voice cracking a little as he strains against his own emotions. He almost sounds desperate, especially not now, when you're the closest thing to a true friend I have. What about Vul and Varissa? Don't get me wrong, I love them, I do, but I still have to put up a mask in front of them. I cannot show any weakness or blemishes. You're the only one who allows me to be the real me, and I'm not only talking about my He cuts off and I smile, because he respected my earlier request. About my quirk. Attaboy. Why would you think you could lose me? Because I already did lose someone once by allowing things to go too fast. We just met, but I can see something special in you. A friendship worth 1,000 short-lived flings. Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. And just like that, he has proven once again that he's been more considerate than I ever have. I don't deserve this guy. Silence overtakes us, as neither of us knows what to say. I suspect he's simply trying to plaster over another crack he allowed to form in his facade. But I remind myself that I need to give him time. He's made good on coming forward at just the right moments. So I wait 10, maybe 20 minutes, just admiring the white moon slowly setting over the now darkening sky. The night is at its thickest, which means dawn is not too far away. I begin slowly dozing off, just listening to his rhythmic breathing on the other side of the doors. But then a question stirs me up, like a cold water slushed into my face. I might be making a fool out of myself, but I have to know. My skin even burns as it would be natural in such a scenario. Do you have feelings for me? I hold my breath, almost certain my heart skipped a beat. I wasn't ready for this, and so wasn't my answer. I don't know. I might. I shrug, looking at the window in defeat. It's clear he did not expect my honesty. Really? I sigh. Everything's so muddled, Ranok. My thoughts race at such speeds that my mind cannot keep up. I idly poke my forehead. It's like a whirlpool of emotions up here. But I do feel something towards you. I can hear he struggles to contain a smile, his voice betraying a hopeful gleam. Something? I want to say love, but I'm not that naive. We barely just met, and as we both just agreed, our situation doesn't exactly make things clear. Yeah. But I won't lie to you. There's certain undeniable attraction there. He burrows deep in thought, causing my anxiety to spike. I might have been too honest. Don't worry, it's not another rejection, he mutters, again picking up on my heartbeat even from the adjacent room and drawing a reluctant laugh from me. Damn, his beastly ability is quite enticing at times, although presently my train of thought is a tad inappropriate. I also feel conflicting emotions regarding you. At first I thought I was just excited about my destiny finally unfolding, but the more I got to know you, the more I enjoyed your company. I started brushing it off as to my loneliness, but now, I don't know what's going on. He sighs heavily, taking another moment to collect his thoughts. This is completely new to me. I never connected with anyone like that, not even with wolves I pursued or grew up with. You're really dear to me. He insists, and the tone of his voice leaves no doubt about it. That's why I cannot risk fucking it up by misreading the situation. I laugh, completely embarrassed by how stupid I am. I keep measuring him by my own yardstick. What's so funny? I thought you were acting immature by bolting after the kiss. And yet again you proved that between the two of us, I am the one who's still a kid. That's what I love about you. He chuckles back, but I'm just stunned that he used that word. Huh? I inquire hesitantly. Cherish your childish naivety. You were lucky enough to retain it. My people weeded out very early on. Well, you still put up a fight. He scoffs in amusement. I try. I take a deep breath and slowly get to my feet. I place my hand on the handle and turn it, unlocking the doors with a soft clang. As I pull the wing away, I see the wolf's back as he's seated on the floor in front of me. He reluctantly turns his head, meeting my gaze with a weary expression. Oh. Hello, Thumbnail. I extend my hand towards him, trying to give him courage to get up. At first he's reluctant, but then he smiles awkwardly. He grabs my hand, but stands up on his own accord, just holding on to me for the sentiment's sake. Once he's up, he looks at me with concern. Hug. I open my arms awkwardly, inviting him to embrace me. Immediately, I hear his tail swing as he nods with a barely contained smile. Oh, you two are meant for each other. And just like that, the large furry form envelops me, and I'm surrounded by the scent of the forest. It feels as if I'm rolling in the meadow again, his fur brushing against me akin to grass. He holds me tight, secure in his embrace for a good few moments, but I don't mind. I simply surrender myself completely, melting into his form. I needed this, to feel safe and wanted. I just take in his warmth, really relieved that despite everything that happened tonight, our relationship wasn't damaged. In fact, despite our combined mishaps, I very much believe it was strengthened. He continues to keep me close, as if desperate to feel every inch of me pressed against his body. Really beautiful music in this. As if fearing I might disappear into the morning mist, my heart stumbles and I feel butterflies fill my stomach. He senses that slight shift and squeezes harder. He grabs my face gently with his paws, warm beams pressing against my cheeks, and slightly pushes me away. His nose ventures close to my forehead, trailing my skin with its cold, wet tip. I stifle a giggle as it tickles, but then my eyes open wide as he reaches my cheek. There he plants a tender lick, his tongue barely grazing the surface of my skin. We lock our gazes, and he immediately pulls me back into his chest. Again, we stay like this for a while, until eventually he lets go of me. I think we both need some time to figure things out at our own pace and on our own terms. He mutters with a saddened voice, yet his expression remains quite determined. What do you mean? I respond in slight confusion. I have no doubt our feelings will clarify if we give ourselves some space. There was something I was meant to do, a scouting mission that would most likely take me away for a few days. What? I feel my heart sink. I did not expect this turn after such a tender moment. I put it off on your account, and Father decided to simply delegate this task to Tano at a later date. Aside from me not trusting his tracking abilities, this is urgent. As usual, Ranok picks up on my distress and takes firm hold of my shoulders. Two of our packs are missing, and I was willing to brush them off for the sake of our little retreat from reality. But it wasn't fair. Not towards you, not towards me, and especially not towards the tribe. He looks into my eyes, and although it's hard to argue with his reasoning, its maturity is commendable even. I cannot help but feel betrayed. I know I said I wouldn't leave you, but if I'm to be chief one day, a good chief, I need to act like one. He insists, his ears falling flat, and I can see he wants this to be our joint decision. How petty would I have to be to inject myself into his line of duty? And despite how easily lulled I am into this weird need for intimacy, I agree that some time apart could help us get clarity. Half the time I don't know what to feel anymore. No, I understand. Again, if it's that important to you. I mutter, but my voice must have been terribly unconvincing as the wolf sighs and pulls me in closer. If I am to protect you, I cannot give them any reasons to undermine me. But most importantly, I cannot allow myself to unwittingly hurt you in the process as well. I think a few days apart will allow our emotions to cool down and settle. Then we will have a clearer view of what's actually going on between us. He smiles, planting another, this time more encouraging lick on my cheek, pulling on my skin teasingly in the process. I chuckle it off, pushing his muzzle away. I'm not going to lie, being left here alone does scare me a bit, but I also know you're right. I nod. You won't be alone. I asked Vul and Varissa to take care of you. That actually sounds fun, I mutter half-heartedly. You're a terrible liar. I know, but I really am keen on spending more time with them. It's just going to be strange to find myself without you. Indeed, he's the only constant I've known since I woke up. More the reason to rip off that bandage, huh? Yeah. I chuckle, this time with genuine amusement. I cannot always expect him to be at my side, and with a week nearly gone by, it's about time I've started acting more independently. Good. He sighs in relief, finally content my mood is stabilized. I will go and see my father at dawn. I will also get Vol and Verissa here. We can have breakfast together. He proposes through a smile. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. I nod with enthusiasm. A joint meal sounds actually fun. Also, it's about time we got you dressed. I didn't forget my promise. He winks, walking towards the bed, and I smile. Consider it to a fault. Oh, God. Oh, man, what an emotional episode. God, these two are destined for each other. I just know it. But, man, okay, looks like I'm going to be alone for a couple days with everyone. Alright, guys, so I have no idea what chapter I'm on. I think we're only on chapter 2, maybe chapter 3. I'm not sure. If anyone in the comments can tell me what part I'm on, that'd be great. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!